And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella, based on the story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 3 ugly, mean stepsisters named Olive, Nina, and Esme. Olive, Nina, and Esme made Cinderella do all the chores. "Sweep the floors, wash the dishes," said Olive, Nina, and Esme. One day, the king of Onlyville's messenger said, hear ye, the king of Onlyville is going to throw a ball. And whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Singling. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. Olive said, he's going to marry me. Nina said, no way, Olive. He's going to marry me. Esme said, both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Later, Cinderella is so sad that she cannot go to the ball and marry Prince Singling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and asks Cinderella what is wrong. Why are you crying, Cinderella? She asks. Cinderella responds, I wanted her to go to the ball and marry Prince Singling, but I'm not welcome. The fairy godmother waved her wand and chanted the magic word, Winnity, Waterity, one! And then, Cinderella's chores are all done. But the fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Cinderella, go fetch me a good old pumpkin. Luckily, Cinderella has one pumpkin. The fairy godmother waved her magic wand and chanted the magic word, Winnity, Waterity, one! Again, and to turn Cinderella's do-rag and clothes into a gown. I've never seen such a wonderful gown. I get a load of my glass slippers, and then the pumpkin into a carriage drawn by 2 strong horses. The fairy godmother said, have fun, Cinderella, but I will warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Singling was wondering who he should marry. Olive, Nina, and Esme said all together, he's walking towards me. But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Singling dance happily together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Singling was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled around Onlyville to find her and brought the glass slipper with him. He knocked on the door of the house where her Cinderella and her stepsisters lived. He said, ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try this glass slipper? Olive is first, but her foot is too big. Nina is next, but her foot is too small. Esme is last, but her foot didn't fit either. Suddenly, Prince Singling noticed Cinderella singing. Cinderella said. Prince Singling, is that you? Prince Singling said, of course it's me. Cinderella gets so excited because she's having to have her Prince Singling back. And they lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story before bed enters doors. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to my video. Take care. Bye and good night, everybody. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella. What? Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 4 ugly, mean stepsisters named Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, and Ramona. Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, and Ramona made Cinderella do all the chores. Sweep the floors. Wash the dishes. Do it all. Said Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, and Ramona all together. One day, the king and Quadrillion Hand's messengers said, Hear ye, hear ye! The king of Quadrillion Hand is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Forting. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. He's going to marry me, said Fiona. Ophelia said, No way, Fiona! He's going to marry me. Ursula said, Both of you are wrong! He's going to marry me. Ramona said, All 3 of you are wrong! He's going to marry me. Later, Cinderella is so sad because she can't go to the ball and marry Prince 14, while her fairy godmother asks her what's wrong by saying, Why are you crying, Cinderella? Cinderella responds, I got lots of chores to be done. I can't go to the ball and marry Prince 14. Cinderella's fairy godmother said, I can help with a bit of magic. Cinderella's fairy godmother chants the magic words. Quiddity, quaddity, quaddity, quoo! And waves her magic wand. Because of that, all of Cinderella's chores are all done. But Cinderella's fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Cinderella, go fetch me a pumpkin. Luckily, Cinderella has 4 pumpkins. Cinderella's fairy godmother said, and then chants the magic words. Quiddity, quaddity, quaddity, quoo, and waves her magic wand to turn the 4 pumpkins into a handsome coach drawn by 8 strong horses. And then, Cinderella's clothes into a gathered crowd. Cinderella said, I've never seen such a quadtastic gown. And get a lot of my glass slippers, her fairy godmother said. Have fun, mighty Cinderella. But I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will turn back to the way it was before. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Fortune was wondering who he should marry. Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, and Ramona said all together, He's walking towards me! But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince 14 dance happily together. But later, Cinderella realizes it's midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost both her glass slippers. Prince 14 was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled all around Quadrilinga to find her, and brought the 2 tiny glass slippers with him. He knocked on the door of the home where Cinderella and her stepsisters live, but instead of Cinderella, he finds Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, and Ramona. He then said, "Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can anyone try on these glass slippers? Fiona is first, but her feet are too big." Ophelia said, "But her feet are too small." Ursula and Ramona did the same thing, but their feet don't fit either. Suddenly, Prince 14 notices Cinderella's sweet singing. "The glass slippers fit!" Cinderella gets so excited because she's happy to have her Prince 14 back. And they both lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And if you want to see some sequels, tell your friends about it. And then, take care, Andrew Stories. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 8 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, Ramona, Tanya, twins, Elena and Ella, and Nina. Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, Ramona, Tanya, Ella, Elena, and Nina made Cinderella do all the chores, sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, Ramona, Tanya, Elena, Ella, and Nina all together. One day, the king of Quadra, the Compilingham's messengers rise and says, "Hear ye, the king of Quadra, the Compillingham is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Quadra the Compling." But Cinderella is not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. "He's going to marry me," said Fiona. Ophelia said, "No way, Fiona, he's going to marry me." Ursula said, "Both of you are wrong, he's going to marry me." Ramona said, "All 3 of you are wrong, he's going to marry me." The rest said, "All 4 of you are wrong, he's going to marry me." Later, Cinderella is so sad doing chores that she can't go to the ball and marry Prince Quadra the Compling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and asks Cinderella what's wrong by saying, "Why are you crying, Cinderella?" In which Cinderella responds, "I have lots of chores to be done, but I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Quadra the Compling." Cinderella's fairy godmother said, "I can help with a bit of magic," and waves her magic wand. Because of that, Cinderella's chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, "Cinderella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some ice." Luckily, Cinderella has 14 pumpkins and 28 mice. Cinderella's fairy godmother waved her magic wand again to turn the 14 pumpkins into a handsome coach, the 28 mice into horses for the coach to drive, and Cinderella's rich clothes into a gown and crown. Cinderella said, "I've never seen such a ordered a fantastic gown and get a load of my glass slippers and hopped onto the coach. Her fairy godmother said, "Have fun, Cinderella, but I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before," and gave her a clock to tell her what time it is. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Quarter the coupling was wondering who he should marry. Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, Ramona, Tanya, Elena, Ella, and Nina say, "He's walking towards me," all together, but he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Quarter the coupling dance happily together. But when Cinderella checks her clock, it's almost midnight! So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost both of her glass slippers. Prince Quarter the coupling was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled all around Quarter the coupling had to find her and brought the 2 glass slippers with him. By the time he arrives, he knocks on the door of the home with Cinderella and her 8 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters. But instead of Cinderella, he finds her 8 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters. Prince Quarter the coupling then said, "Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on these glass slippers?" Fiona is first, but her feet are too big. Ophelia is next, but her feet are too small. The rest did the same thing, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, Prince Quarter the coupling notices Cinderella's singing. The glass slippers fit! Cinderella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Quarter the coupling back. And then Prince Quarter the coupling and Cinderella lived happily ever after. The end. I hope this was a fun story, Andrew Stewards. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merchandise at AndrewDoesEverything.com. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Stewards. Andrew Does Everything proudly presents 41 It is based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young girl named 41 had 8 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Fiona, Ophelia, Ramona, Tina, Yadina, Una, Nina, and Elena. Fiona, Ophelia, Ramona, Tina, Yadina, Una, Nina, and Elena made 41 do all the chores. "Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all," said Fiona, Ophelia, Ramona, Tina, Yadina, Una, Nina, and Elena all together. One day, the king of Unquadradition Tumbleham's messenger said, "Hear ye, the king of Unquadradition Tumbleham is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Unquadradition Toppling." But 41 is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. They argue over who will Prince Unquadradition Toppling marry. Later, Cinderella is so sad because she wanted to go to the ball and marry Prince Unquadradition Toppling while doing chores, and her fairy godmother asks her what's wrong by saying, "Why are you crying, 41 41 responds, "I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Unquadradition Toppling." Her fairy godmother said, "I can help with a bit of magic." 41's fairy godmother waves her magic wand. Because of that, 41's shows are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet, she said. 41-erella, go fetch me a pumpkin. Luckily, 41-erella has 41 pumpkins. 41's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 41 pumpkins into a handsaw coach drawn by 82 strong horses, and then 41's rich cousin drag into a gown and crown. 41 said, I've never seen such an unquadrigentabletastic gown. Get a load of my glass slippers. 41's fairy godmother said, have fun, 41-erella, but I would warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before. 41-erella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Unquadrigentabling was wondering who he should marry. Fiona, Ophelia, Ramona, Tina, Yadina, Una, Nina, and Elena all say together, he's walking towards me, but he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards 41-erella. 41-erella and Prince Unquadrigentabling dance happily together. But later, 41-erella realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Unquadrigentabling was so worried that he might never see 41-erella again. So he traveled all around Unquadrigentablingham to find her and brought the glass slipper with him. By the time he arrives, he knocks on the door at the house where 41-erella and her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 41-erella, he finds Fiona, Ophelia, Ramona, Tina, Yadina, Una, Nina, and Elena. He then said, ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper? Fiona is first, but her foot is too big. Ophelia is next, but her foot is too small. Oh. The rest did the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, Prince Unquadrigentablingham notices 41's sweet singing. The glass slipper fits! 41 gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Unquadrigentablingham back. And they both lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrew's Doers, and if you want to see some sequels, I've been debating on making on those. Maybe I can do it. Take care. Bye.